The information palette is an extremely powerful tool for conducting checks and analyses. To this end, I've prepared a very brief example in which I will simultaneously analyze 217 columns placed inside this basement. The analysis I want to carry out concerns three key pieces of information: IFC entity, material, and an attribute that I customized myself, which I called pillar section. Let's try to see everything inside AllPlan. So we are inside AllPlan. At this point, I move to the objects palette to see that in fact I have 217 pillars available. Now I select my pillar and I can see that it has an IFC entity, IFC column, that it has a material, and at the same time it has my customized attribute. If needed, directly from here, I can show you how the attribute was customized. I multiplied the length and thickness by 100 in order to get the information in centimeters. Let's do a nice control, right click to filter all of my pillars. So I go and select the pillars, click OK, and do a nice Control A from the keyboard. Moving to the Properties palette, I notice that the information shown for my three data points varies. Let's try to understand why. Let's go ahead and populate the information palette directly, and at this point, let's try some very simple alphabetical sorting of the different columns. So we see that, for example, I have an IFC column, but at the same time, I also have the information undefined. Why is it undefined? Because most likely by mistake, I forgot to assign the desired information. So all I need to do is populate and correct my mistake directly from here. The exact same thing applies to the material. By sorting alphabetically, I can more efficiently isolate all the empty cells in the data set and then directly retrieve the missing information. At this point, I could group by material to see how I have different types of materials used for the construction of my columns. I mostly used a C20/25. In fact, we have as many as 185 columns out of a total of 217. So I will have to decide whether those materials should be standardized or if there is a reason why I use different materials. All of this can be further checked, precisely thanks to the ability to perform a whole series of sorts. But let's also try to call up my custom attribute. So I go to call up the pillar section attribute, and what can I do here? I can go and change the grouping, telling it to show me the pillar section, and realize that I have used different types of pillar sections. I have a 100 by 35, a 100 by 50, a 30 by 45. Let's say the most common pillar section is the 50 by 50. In fact, I have 96 pillars of that type. And once again, I can assess whether it's the right choice to use all these different pillar sections. At the same time, by selecting them with Excel, what do I get? I get this kind of representation. So a list of all my pillars with the information I chose to export, grouped by, in this case, pillar section.